Any questions?
Up here and over there. Yeah. We'll start over here.
Awesome, thank you. So this is really interesting. And I like thinking about these on and off manifold, and also just the how much the manifold is a function of the method you're using. I'm wondering if when you take like your two on and off manifold data sets for the two different manifolds, are they coming up with different anomalies, or are they, coming up with the same object?
Oh, that's such a good question. I was really hoping that when I did that, so when I compared the superset I was getting from the autoencoder and the superset I was getting from, say, PCA, I was really hoping that when I compared those two supersets, they would be very similar, because then I'd also be able to claim that I'd been able to get rid of model dependence to a certain extent. It didn't really work that well, and I'm hoping that maybe that in this first cut of the work, I'd actually kept in a lot of instrumentation sort of artifacts within there. But intuitively, that would feel like a sensible kind of thing, right? If you've created a different manifold, you'd be capturing different points on the manifold, and then you'd be capturing other points off the manifold. But you'd hope that the summation of those two ought to be the same. So it's work in progress. Great question.
Thanks. Peter has his hand up, I see. Or did you have your hand up first? Yeah. Okay. Over here.
Brilliant talk. Very interesting. You mentioned that the on and off manifold anomalies, there was only a 2% similarity, like it's only a very small subset. We're in both, but was there anything interesting about those examples? Was it just artifacts from the instrumentation?
Yeah, so a great question again. So nearly all were instrumentation artifacts, but they were very different clumps of instrumentation artifacts. So for the PCA one, what I was finding spectra with a lot of kind of maybe dropout or 0 pixels in a range. And then what I was seeing for local outlier factor, I think, was where we had maybe like incorrect sky subtraction in particular points, or cosmic rays, like really like high intensity points. Again, what I would hope is if I can, do that layer, next layer of cleaning, get those points out, and look at maybe true. I mean, those are still interesting, right? Because all those points are still great just to be able to feed back to that. I think Peter was making that point before as well. To feed back to the pipeline people, and just maybe just to clean things up a little bit. But I would hope that maybe there might be a little bit more commonality between some of the points, and B, that I'd be down into the maybe more interesting objects. And sorry, I'm probably running out of time, but when we were sitting with one of our collaborators and I was showing them a lot of the instrumentation artifacts, is the classic case of, having people who actually know stuff. He pointed at one and said, oh, hang on, but that's a supernova. So, ultimately it will come down to trying to get a subset of things and show it to people who know stuff.
Yeah. Anything else real quick? Or we can thank Paul again and